Bobby Mackey's.
Bobby Mackey's.
Bobby Mackey's.
Bobby Mackey's.
Bobby Mackey's.
I'm Bobby Mackey from Wilder, Kentucky. I've been playing music right here for 45 years. I had some good friends that come over there all the time from northern Kentucky here. In fact, they lived here in Wilder. They enticed me to come over here and look at this place. It was an old gambling casino that had been closed. It's a place called the Latin Quarter. I come over here and saw it and, just kind of had to have it and been here ever since.
I'm Jan McCauley with Gatekeeper Paranormal. We do the tours here at Bobby Mackey's Sunday through Thursday. The bar is open on Friday and Saturday, so we don't do the tours during there then, but they have basement tours while it's open. A lot of people have had experiences in the bathroom, and on the Ghost Adventures and stuff like that, it was all about the men's bathroom, but I've had just as many people tell me stories about the ladies' restroom, so it doesn't necessarily mean that if you're in the ladies' room, nothing's going to happen. We know that this area was known as Gallows Gap in the 1860s, meaning that they did hangings here, and we know of at least 21 hangings that happened.
There was a kid that lived right up the street in the closest house to this place, and he was like 18 years old, and we were down here planning to get the place and trying to get it opened up and everything. We had a lot of work to do, and this kid named Carl Lawson come through the door and introduced himself. He said, "Hi, I'm Carl, and I know all about this place."
Carl Lawson was a caretaker maintenance guy that worked here. He actually worked here when it was the Bloody Bucket, which was before it was Bobby Mackey's. And he had all kinds of things happening here. He's the reason that people come here for the spirits. There's a book called Hell's Gate that the author talked to Carl, and everything in that book is according to Carl. So he lived here most of the time. And he worked here, so he was here all the time. So a lot was happening to him. So a lot of the stories kind of stem from him, actually.
So, we hired him and had him doing some painting and cleaning, and when we got open, he became the caretaker. He would clean the place for us every day and have it ready for every night when we'd open. He'd clean it, stock the beer and everything. But in the early days, he started saying things, and of course, I had so much going on, and I was zeroed in on, I was focused on everything that was going on and getting open, the main thing. But Carl started, I really couldn't even hear what he was saying. He was just talking to me. And he just kept that up, and I said, "What are you trying to tell me? Carl, what are you saying?" And then he got my attention. He started telling me, he said, "Oh, you wouldn't believe some of the things that go on around here." I said, "If you're trying to tell me something weird going on here, I don't want to hear it, and I don't want you to tell nobody about it." And he didn't. It didn't come out for 10 years. I didn't want to scare people off before I got the doors open.
The legend goes that her spirit comes to Bobby Mackey's, and that Carl saw her walking across the dance floor. However, we don't believe that's true. I mean, he may have seen her. We don't know why she would be here. Her body was found a couple miles south of here over the bridge in Fort Thomas on a farm. Back then, everybody seemed to get out there before the coroner did, and they were picking up everything that had blood on it, which is just crazy. Her body laid in state in Newport, her headless body.
There was a girl, Pearl Bryant, who was beheaded in 1896 by Alonzo Walling and Scott Jackson. Her head has never been found to this day. On the gallows, both men refused, even after they were offered a life sentence opposed to death, with the ropes on their neck. Both men refused to tell where her head is.
The story of Johanna, there's debate on whether she truly existed, but the story goes that Carl said that her spirit came to him in his apartment and told him to dig in the basement, which he did. He broke through the floor and found her journal, supposedly, but apparently he's the only one that ever saw it. So I'm like, if you could have helped us out and shown at least one other person, that would have been great. But so everything in that he's apparently in the journal is according to him. He says that she was a dancer here during the Latin Quarter days, that her father supposedly ran the place, and that she fell in love with another performer named Robert Randall. They were going to run off to Chicago. The father finds out about it and has the boyfriend killed, and she's so distraught that she's going to poison herself, poison her father and kill herself, according to the journal, according to Carl. Also, there's no proof of her death, but it was the mob, so it's not like they kept track of any deaths in the place, and they're not going to call law enforcement if they have a dead body in the establishment, that they're doing illegal activity.
Bobby Mackey's Music World, a place that Zach Baggins and Ghost Adventures refused to even come back to. This is supposed to be one of the most haunted bars in America.
Bobby Mackey's, which is known amongst many circles to be haunted.
I find there are more people who believe in it than don't, and that's a fact.